Kashtira is out in Master Duel, and of course, everyone has their takes. If you still need a beautiful playmat, you can go to zerodamagegaming.com and use the code Solemn for a discount. Links will be in the description. There's also beautiful deck boxes. So Kash is here, and of course, the first thing I had to do as a Yugi tuber was make a bunch of deck profiles about it. Now, the issue with the Kash engine, of course, as we all know by now, is that some of the best cards are actually missing. We are missing the field spell, Raid Salt. We are missing Theosis. We are missing Arise Heart. We are missing Big Bang. And now if you are a Master Duel only player, you're like, okay, what does all that mean? Basically, it's all of the cards that glued everything together, and then the biggest payoff being Arise Heart. What this means is that currently Kashtira is nowhere near full power in the game. It is basically a pretty pathetic engine, but Fenrir by itself is a crazy card. However, if you ask a YouTuber to make a video about Fenrir is a pretty crazy card, there's not really much content to be made out of that. You know, I can't just make updated Sprite deck includes 2 Fenrir. Updated tier deck includes 2 Fenrir. Updated Labyrinth deck includes 2 Fenrir. There's no content to be made out of that. So I, and every other single YouTuber on the planet, decided, okay, we'll just see what happens with Kash and just be clear about the fact that these decks aren't that great just yet. Now, 90% of players understand this and they go, oh, okay, cool. If I want to play Kashtira right now with a very limited amount of cards in the game, I can do that with this weird little gimmicky deck and it'll be fun. And otherwise, you know, fuck it. However, there's also a percentage of players who do not understand this nuance. And so when I am talking about my Kashtira Cope deck, where I'm like, oh, I'll OTK and maybe it'll work, hee hee ha ha, some might go, oh, but I actually saw my favorite YouTuber make a very strong version of blah 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 blah. Okay, but no YouTuber is ever gonna just upload a replay of them getting impermed on their Tomahawk 5 times and then rage quitting. So while the replays might be impressive, if we're all being honest for 1 second, Kashtira is not a real powerful deck just yet. Is it a fun tier 2 deck that can sometimes lock zones and sometimes make a good board? Sure, but there's actually plenty of decks that can already make insane boards going first. The bigger question is, what the hell are you doing going second? And Kashtira is actually very good at going second if you look at the TCG or, well, the OCG when they were at full power. Kashtira Fenrir is a crazy board-breaking card. Unicorn by itself can already be pretty solid as well. I mean, all these big Cyber Dragon bodies can still deal with stuff. And then Birth and Theosis and all these rank 7 plays and so forth. All of that is actually really good at breaking boards, especially because you have a lot of room for non-engine, making that archetype just a menace at breaking boards. But if you try to turn Kashtira into a rank 7 type of deck where you just spam 2 rank 7s onto the board and then you make a Tomahawk and then you make a bunch of tokens and then you try to do Aurora Dawn combos and so forth, you are starting to introduce a lot of garbage into your deck. You're starting to introduce Jet Synchron and O-Lion and, you know, whatever else, Nemesis and so forth. All of these cards that are fun, and again, I'm not blaming anyone for making deck lists like that. There is literally nothing we can make with Kashtira right now that isn't gonna suck kind of ass. But there are plenty of decks that could already make a Tomahawk. Armed Dragons was already doing the Aurora Dawn Tomahawk combo, and that deck was not anywhere to be seen. So the best decks right now are just gonna be the same decks from previously, while probably playing Fenrir. Now again, Kashtira are strong cards, but they're just missing so much right now. But of course, that didn't stop some people from already going crazy in Facebook groups and YouTube comment sections going, but Kashtira can already lock zones, you guys. It's crazy. All they need is 4 specific cards and to never get hand trapped, and then they can lock 3 zones and then afterwards 2 more maybe. But if your opponent then doesn't do anything for a whole turn, you can lock all 10 zones. Whoa, whoa, crazy. So in the end, Kashtira right now, whether you are choosing to do my Cope OTK or my Cope control variant or the Cope Tomahawk Aurora Dawn line or the Cope zone lock, there's only 2 things that are constant here. It's Kashtira and it's Cope. Kashtira Fenrir is truly the only card worth playing if you're trying to play at an extremely high level in Master Duel right now. Now, some things I've also been seeing in the comment section is, oh, but I actually just first Kashtira in the Master rank. Firstly, ranks in Master Duel are really not that special. You could literally play any deck. to master rank, given that it's, built well, you're playing your staples and so forth. But second, everyone is excited to play with the new cards. So no matter how shite they might be right now, everyone's still gonna try and have some fun with their new Kashtira cards. Of course, you just spent a bunch of gems on them, a lot, because it's a bunch of ultra rares. But that doesn't mean that this is gonna be a mainstay type of deal. In the end, if you activate Impermanence on this cute little plane right here, their turn is over. And if they are playing one of these going first type of combo decks, it's also very likely that they don't have a lot of hand traps to back up their plane with 0 attack. This is why I initially tried to make like a control variant where I end on like a Fenrir, a Unicorn, a Birth, and then a bunch of hand traps, because that way at least if my Tomahawk gets stopped, there's still something. Or if I already open Fenrir and Unicorn, I don't even try to make a Tomahawk. I'll just try and play a control game this way. Again though, it's important to remember, these decks are not gonna be the best decks right now. Probably not anywhere close. However, despite that, it might still be useful to waste your gems on these cards, because Konami was quite smart. What they did was they made Fenrir an ultra rare, Unicorn an ultra rare, Rice Heart an ultra rare. That's a bunch of ultra rares, but guess what? We will probably be getting a pack in the future where we have a Raid Salt as ultra rare. Maybe Theosis is an ultra rare. A Rice Heart will probably be an ultra rare. And so you now have the probably best deck needing a bunch of ultra rares from 2 different packs. And if this pack vanishes before the second wave, you will now have such a tough time getting all the crafting material to get these cards, you'll probably regret it. This kind of reminds me of the Ishizu support with Tearlament, though I do believe those 2 packs were in the store at the exact same time. But again, you're basically hunting for ultra rares from 2 different packs that together form an incredibly powerful deck right now. So for that reason, I already spent all the gems I needed to get this engine together. If you don't, well, that's a risk you're taking. In the end, right now, Kashtira is just not that strong. It's still a solid engine. It's still going to be very strong in the future. But if you don't have the crafting material and you never intend to play Kash, I wouldn't go and craft this right now to try and rank up. That is all. Hope you found this interesting. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.